guys, so this is Carrie, Art of the Pour. I'm making just a video on dirty cup pours. So I'm just going to do pewter, which is I really like this metallic deco art. I'm going to do a silver, acrylic here, silver, and I'm using Stemples black, the bestest black on the planet, I swear to God. It's pricey, but good. And like, seriously, this is $20 a bottle. It's 4 ounces or 150 mils. So you only need a little bit to make it black. It's like so highly pigmented. So we actually pay 40 for them because they have to be shipped to us, and they charge $20 in shipping because they come from the UK. But if you're living in the UK or closer, I'd really suggest investing in some of this. And then just a Saks heavy flow white. So that's what I'm going to do: silver, pewter, black, and white. So I'm just going to start with, this is high-bodied paint, so it doesn't need it's a 3-to-1, so I got 1 part paint in here. I'm going to eyeball it. I don't actually measure anything. 2, 3. I should have stirred it before I added a little bit of the mix in, so we'll do that with this one. So this is like a probably 5 to 95% rate. So I'm just going to pour a little bit to mix it. Just make sure it doesn't get clumpies. Okay, no clumpies. So I can show you how awesome this stuff is. Look at, even with this pouring medium in here, it is so black. And you know, the things they dry darker, so yeah, this is going to be a standout black. Okay, and now I'm going to do some pewter. So this is kind of like a medium-bodied paint, but I add the pouring medium depending on thickness. So if it seems really thick, I add more pouring medium. If it seems thin, then you know, I might add more paint. It's a kind of an eyeball for me. So yeah, this looks pretty good. And these are 5-ounce cups, so you can see I'm going to have about 12 ounces altogether. For this is just a 12 by 14. I do this a lot in bigger paintings, like long paintings. I really love doing, I don't know, dirty pours in these longer settings here. See if I can have enough pouring medium without opening a new bottle. I think so. But if you are in need of pouring medium, I have my own brand, the Art of the Pour Premium Pouring Medium. It's got the directions for mixing right on the back. And if you've just happened to find this video and you don't know anything about my shop, it's the Art of the Pour. I sell resin kits and beginner resin kits and beginner acrylic pour kits. And I'm found on Etsy at the Art of the Pour, all one word. Okay, so the white's a little thicker, and to prevent clumpies, what you want to do is mix it a little bit with the pouring medium and then add pouring medium more to it. So I kind of did this backwards. I should have added a little bit at a time. Now I'm not using silicone for this pour. I'm going to add a little water to this. It's a little bit thicker than the rest. The one thing about a pour is you want to have all the paint consistency the same. So that's why I wanted to thin this out a little bit. That's important. I'm not using any silicone because I don't want cells with this particular kind of ring pour. Or it's not, well, it's kind of going to be like a ring pour, but not really. Because I'm going to do 3 of them on this one, or 4 of them actually, on this one canvas. If you're hearing background noise, apologize. My living room is very close where my basement is. My living is my work area. It's all kind of open concept, so people are watching upstairs. Okay, so I'm going to start with gloves. Now, I could kind of coat this in white before I go. That makes things kind of go along a little bit easier. Still determining if I should do that. But we'll see without it. Alright, so I'm going to start with pewter in 2 of the cups. I'm going to try and fill these up as much as possible. Okay, after pewter, just do white. And I'll start white in here. Okay. Do black. Now you might notice how I pour on the side of my cup because I like to keep my colors separate. I think it makes for prettier pours. And the silver. And the reason I changed up a little bit with the paints here instead of putting them all exactly the same. This half of them, so I'll do one with the white coming out last, which will be the color that's going to be closest to the top. And then the other 2 will have the pewter coming out, and I'll kind of just arrange them by one another there. Okay, so back to the pewter. You don't want to do more than 2 or 3 layers of this because it will kind of get muddy on you. So I'm definitely going to stop at 3 layers. Okay. Black, we do silver. Back to pewter. So I want to use up the rest of my pewter here, except I can leave a little bit for the last layer of the 2 that got white on the top instead of pewter, because their last layer should be pewter. Pewter, however you want to say this. Okay, and now the white. Okay, I'm just going to scrape out the rest of the white here. Okay. Black. Probably wouldn't have used so much black in the end there, but I don't want to waste that expensive paint. And by the way, the Saks works just as fine too. The only reason I like doing that, using the Stuart Stemple, sorry, is because I kind of like the story, so that goes with his paints. So I do buy them because I like the story, and I really like the paint. One of my favorites, for sure. But the story is kind of funny. There's two artists that live in the UK, and I guess they compete with each other a lot. So one of them, oh, what am I doing here? This pewter here. One of the artists made his own color, called it the pinkest pink. There was some kind of art, I guess, somewhere in the UK, wherever they're out of, and it had the pinkest pink. It was colored in this pinkest pink, really glossy, high pink, and the guy patented his color so that nobody else could copy it, and Stuart was upset about that. I thought that was not a good thing to do, and so he made his own line of paints to sell to people. So I kind of like that story. Okay, so we're gonna do pewter, the white on the bottom, then the pewter, and the white on the bottom. I have 4 pins on the bottom here in each corner, little thumbtacks to keep these elevated from the floor there, not the floor, the table. Sorry, I can't think today. All right, so I'm going to pour on this kind of a. Now, if you were going to do a plain ring, you would just kind of would go like in a circle, but I'm not doing that, so I'm just going to go straight. Okay, just gonna pop that in the corner. And this one. Kind of wondering if these are going to end up too dark, because the white sinks, and even you can't see much white there already. I should have just done 2 layers, guys. Okay, so I'm just put this here too. I'm going to torch it before I go on to moving it, because I don't want cells. I want to torch it before I stretch it. Oh, look at these. I got air bubbles already. Some little air bubbles. Probably going to turn into cells. There's only one thing I hate worse than cells on a ring pour or a dirty pour is little speckles. So I'd rather have a couple cells than speckles, which is why I torch now. Because if you torch later, I don't know how well you can see this, but there's little white speckles here from torching, from breaking the air bubbles. And if you wait till the end to torch, then you're going to get speckles on your finished product rather than a couple cells. I'd rather have a couple cells than little speckles. So I'm still just kind of going around as if it's a ring pour, just kind of round and around. And I try to go back to center. Oh, I think I'm going to like this, even though I was worried it was going to be too dark. I think I will like it. Okay, so now I'm just getting this last corner here, or second last corner, sorry. I don't know if you saw me moving this around. I'm sorry if it wasn't in camera view. Okay, I usually do this a lot slower than I am currently doing right now. Okay, so now I'm just going to try and get this last corner. I'm just going to take my little glove hand here and just pat some on so that it pours a little bit easier once it gets to this corner here. Okay, so now I'm going to try and just kind of center it back out. Right, so right off the bat I see a little clumpies, and I don't know if the clumpies were from the white not being stirred enough or if there was any in my pouring medium. I triple strained my pouring medium, so there shouldn't be because of that, but it could be the white. So I'm going to grab something to take them out. Okay, where'd it go? Yeah, it's definitely the white paint. I can't even grab it. If it was a blobby, you could grab it pretty easy. Okay, so, wow, this is going to look amazing on a wreath resin. I'm really happy with this. I'm going to tip it a little more this way to see if I can straighten it out still some more. Okay, I'll stop there. Looks like a lump here, but it's actually not a lump. It's actually flat. Yeah, there's no lumps anywhere. Okay, I'm going to do one more torch and hoping I'm not going to get specks. Fingers crossed for me, guys. Oh gosh, I am really liking this pour. I'm going to definitely recreate this on a big canvas. Look at how easy that was. Don't you think that was an easy kind of just kind of pour it in a little ring, and there you go. Isn't this nice? You can add any color you want. Hi guys, so this is I did this painting, and this is how it dried, and I'm gonna embellish it. I mean, I like it, but it looks kind of bland now that it's dry. I'm also going to, after I embellish it, I am going to resin it, so it'll look better that way. So what I'm doing is I have silver paint and I have glue, and they're in this little fine little bottles here, so that the lines are really small. And then I have silver leaf. So I can only do one at a time, either the silver leaf or the silver, because we don't want the silver leaf to stick to the silver as well. So I'm just going to start putting down glue. Now, you can use a brush for this, but I find that you get much better lines with a bottle. It's a much finer tip than most glues. And I did use a brush to do another gold leafing project, and I don't really like how it turned out. So I'm going to make sure the lines are really fine. So I'm just going to start this glue by just squeezing out some, make sure it comes out good. And then I'm just going to pick a line. I'm going to start in here because it's really kind of boring. Okay, I'm just going to, actually I'll start at the corner. And you just follow along the line. Pick a line and just follow it. Let the glue kind of hang off the sides if you want to, especially if you are not planning to frame this. You want it to kind of wrap around. I'm just filling in this line a little bit. Okay, and then all you do is you get your silver leaf. Now, I just put the whole thing down and let it dry that way. Because I use crushed silver or gold leafing or whatever kind of leafing you want to put down. I use it often. So when I take off the gold leafing, I usually kind of, not chop it up, but I break it up from my for other projects. But if you're more careful with your leafing, you could cut these into little strips and then put them on. But this is the way I do it. And then I'm just going to fold this over. Oops. And it's got to dry at least for 2 hours or so, and then you can start taking this off. So I'm just going to show you the silver. It's the same way as the glue, really, but I'm just going to do one line just so you can see it, and then I'll come back when this is all off. So you just pick a line, same as with the glue. Oh, it's coming out. This is coming out kind of thicker than I wanted, so a little bit less pressure. That looks better. The key here is to go fast. If you go too slow, you're going to get lines thick like that. And I'm actually just going to swipe that off and fix it. Now, to take it off, you can use a little bit of alcohol. So I have been using this is 70% alcohol. It's a hand sanitizer. You know, with the COVID and all, these are kind of easy to get. And I'll just take off the extra paint that I don't want. Trying not to touch this paint that I do want. Okay, there, that's good. So if you do make a mistake, you know it's fixable. Okay, so that looks a little bit better, and it'll probably dry a little bit elevated. Once it dries all the way, it'll probably be a little bit elevated, but that's okay because we're going to cover it with resin and it'll be flat then. You won't notice it at all. So I'm going to continue on with the silver leafing and the gold after the silver leafing is done. I'm just going to continue on like that. I'll come back when I'm going to take the silver leafing off so that you can see that process. And then, yeah, then we're going to resin it afterwards. So just stay tuned, then I'll be right back. Hi guys, so we're going to finish off this painting that I did earlier, and I embellished it with a gold leaf, a little bit of silver, just regular silver paint just in here every now and again. And I took off most of my silver leaf, as you can see. But I had a couple patch areas, so I just wanted to show you how to take it off. It's very simple. You just get a brush, and you just brush as much as will come off. And then I save these little silver pieces for other things. Like if you want to push silver into something, it's good to save it. Now, just going to pick this up, put it in my little cup, and then I'm just going to make sure that's all off. Okay, so I'm going to be using this resin that is just for covering paintings. It's thinner than regular resin, so you need way less than you would normally. I probably could get away with doing 2 ounces of resin and hardener, but yeah, I probably could. But I'm going to do 4, just because. I don't know why. Okay, so first is one part, and I'll be selling this particular resin in my shop soon. So if you end up on this video by accident, or not by accident, but you saw my video and you are just joining us from YouTube, I have a little Etsy store where I sell beginner resin kits, and I sell now mica powders, my own line of mica powders. some alcohol inks, and some resin. Now this one does stick a little bit more than regular resin, so it says it's safe to use. Okay, so the manufacturer I get from is here in Calgary. It's made locally to me. I'm in Calgary, Alberta. So it's local to me, and they say it's safe. There's no toxins or VOCs, whatever. But this one does smell a little bit. But I don't think you would need a respirator. Maybe a mask. Okay, so the point of this resin is that it's thin, and it doesn't make a lot of bubbles. So it's easy to mix in together. It's just 1-to-1 like regular resin. I have some gold leaf in here. I'll take it out. My puppies are being a little bit barky. Okay, so it doesn't take very long to stir it all because it's thin, so it's easy to mix. Don't mind all this dog noise. And sorry, I'm just taking out silver leafing that I see floating about. Okay, so I'm going to put gloves on because I don't want to get this all over my hands. Okay, so all you do is you just, like you're doing a regular resin. Now this resin, I must warn you, if you decide that you want to purchase it from me, it is just for covering paintings. You cannot make art with this particular resin. Put that there. It is just for finishing paintings. It's thin, it doesn't pool, I never get any pitting. There's hardly ever any air bubbles. I do torch it anyway just to be on the safe side. But yeah, so you're not going to have a problem with pooling or, you know, resin sitting. Just got to pour it around. Now it sets up in about 20 minutes. Like, don't touch it in 20 minutes, but it's stiffened. It's stiffened, so it's not going to go anywhere after 20 minutes. Yeah, I could have got away with half the amount of resin I got on here. It's resin, it's better to be safe than sorry, I guess. So just make sure you get all your sides. Now look how nice this painting looks. A little embellishment and some resin really brings it out. So yeah, this is really it. I'm just going to torch this. Just trying to pick out some of these little pieces. I don't know how much, too much on here. Okay, so I'm just going to torch it quickly, and then I'll just leave it to cure, and we'll come back and see it when it's dry. So, you know, I just keep an eye on my resin at first, you know, until I know it's going to be not moving on me. So I didn't have any silicone in this painting, but I am seeing this little like resistance here. So just keep an eye on your paintings. If you've did a painting with silicone, make sure you get it off your canvas. And so to do that, I particularly like baking soda, but you can also wash it with alcohol. So a little bit of alcohol and a paper towel will clean it up. With baking soda, I just kind of spread it on, and then I just kind of rub it in, and the baking soda absorbs all of the oils. Sorry, I can't talk. I have literally spent 13 hours putting colors in a bottle. Oh, yeah. All right, so I'm going to get to torching it. Okay, so I just got that little hand torch here. And when you go over the resin, you just don't want to like burn it, so that won't look nice. So you have to just kind of keep your hand moving. I don't really see any bubbles, but There, I think that's good. I think I am going to have to watch this a little bit. So when you have resin and you're noticing some areas that are not, you know, the resin seems to be pulling away from, just watch it for a few more minutes. With regular resin and with this resin, any resin, just watch it. Make sure, you know, for the first, okay, if it's this resin, I just watch it for about 10-15 minutes. If it's regular resin, I actually watch it for about an hour. So not that I'm standing there just watching the resin, but I check on it every 20 minutes or so. And see how there's a little bit of resin here in the bottom of the cup. So if I needed to cover up a spot, I would just kind of use the cup remains to cover any spots. So you can do that with regular resin. You can do that with this resin. Yeah, so that's about it. And I'll be back and show you this once it's dry. Guys, so I'm just showing you my end piece that I embellished and put a coat of resin on. I really like it now. I thought it, you know, like I loved it when it first came out, but then as it dried, I didn't love it quite as much. I thought it was too kind of one note. But once you add a silver leaf and a little bit of silver paint, it really kind of perked it up. Yeah, so I'll definitely make this on a big board now. And it'll be an open cup pour. I'll use the same technique on the big board as I did on this one. And then I will embellish it. Yeah, so if you've liked my video, please like and subscribe. If you make your own painting like this, I would love to see it. And you can share that with me on my Facebook page, The Art of the Pour, and then join my art group. It's called The Art Corner. And you can show all your pictures, get advice, you know, input or whatever. Lots of different artists there from all different kind of levels. So please join us there. I really would love to see what you create. Yeah, and so the resin that I used on this project, it's just as shiny as regular resin. As you can see, just as shiny. But so much easier to work with as you've seen in the video. So if you're looking for some of that resin, I do sell some of it. So yeah, so just shoot me up if you want to, and I'll set out how much you need for whatever particular size you have. Okay, so you can find me on Etsy store, The Art of the Pour, all one word, and you can find me on my website, theartofthepour.ca. Yeah, so I look forward to hearing from you, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks. Bye.